Yes, yes. Welcome back to the Bad Guys Podcast. I am your host, King Walker. Welcome back. Part three of I Hate Black Podcast series, I guess, a special. Um, Going in a different direction. This episode, I have a special guest, author, writer, black Christian conservative, um, social media influencer. I got George P. Brooks here, everybody. George P. Brooks. Let me bring him up right now. Hold on, let me pull the screen up. George, what's going on?
Nothing much. Good day, sir. How are you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing
All
good. I
right.
needed you. I seen your post about the chitlin circuit, and we talked behind the scenes. I might have took it wrong, but we're gonna we're gonna clear it up here.
All right.
Um, Thank you for coming to the show. I usually don't have too many guests. You're probably one of the most important guests I feel. No shade to anybody else that's been on the show, but one of the
Right.
most important guests I've had on my short time here. I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity.
So I brought you here to do your thing that you always do when you go on your podcast run or whenever you do it. I see you all the time on Facebook and other platforms and other podcasts.
Mm.
But I brought you here to help me understand what I've been going through since I've seen or been podcasting, and that's I don't hate it. I hate how it's ran. The black
Right.
podcast community. I hate the way we communicate. I hate the way we speak to each other. I hate the way we support each other or don't
Don't
support each
support each other
other.
exactly.
So I felt like we have a couple agreements, but we're going to disagree too.
Just fine.
But I want to see how you feel about a lot of topics that we have. We got a lot of things, but give me your take on it first before I hop in here again because I got more.
All right. I think a lot of the issues with black podcasters, and let me begin this by saying I don't mean to cast such a wide berth and say all black podcasters, but we all know that group that we're talking about. And I noticed that oftentimes we try to network in black podcast communities, especially with black male podcasters. It's a lot of tribalism, and it's a lot of cliquishness, even more so than in circles of black female content creators. Oftentimes black women will support each other, but for some reason black men in this area, in terms of things that could really help us, is more so counterproductive. I don't know if it's ego, I don't know if it's insecurity, but we have a problem putting each other on, and there's a lot of apathy. And the thing about with black podcasting, one of the arguments and one of the things about black culture that has always been something that you know systemically has been an issue with us is us controlling our own narrative, of us having our own media, and with now the ability for everybody and their mama to podcast, now we can control the narrative. And the thing you want to be cautious of is what kind of narrative are you putting out there. So and I'm not talking about black podcasters, I'm talking about that what we talked about, black folks versus niggas. And we have very erudite, thoughtful, constructive black content on many subjects, from the serious to the sublime. But we got a lot of nigga content creators out there too that are mercury in the water. And I think from keeping us from establishing a real network of black media that's divergent and fruitful. What I would like to see, especially among black men, since I've been an advocate for black men for 8 years, something where we can form networks. We can codify ourselves in terms of media. But right now, with the current crab in the bucket mentality that we're constantly seeing, the tribalism instead of tribal culture, this is a lot of shit out there. So
Now, when you say as black men we need to change it, but wouldn't that require a leader? And
no,
okay,
you got to lead yourself.
okay.
Black folks, man, we don't have no leaders. You know what I'm saying? You got to lead yourself as a man. If you need somebody to lead you and you a man, you're not leading yourself. So the thing is, that's an individualistic endeavor. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, if you're a black content creator, You're gonna have to take your time. You're gonna have to be mindful of what you do. And a lot of it is you're gonna have to jettison those people and those networks that are not conducive to what you're trying to do. Because you have to understand, as a podcast creator, we all have different purposes and motivations. Some people it's just a hobby. If you're doing it once or twice a week, it's a hobby. Okay. So you got those people and they do have a place in the market. You do have a market and a place for ghetto ratchet bullshit. Okay. And we all know what we talking about. Let's not sit up here and be naive and act like we don't know what we talking about. But and it has a place. A big place? No. A bigger place? Does it happen a bigger place than it should? Yes. But I want to speak more so to those that are more professional and serious about it, because I feel like as Black people, we can build our own networks. We can do things to codify ourselves in a way. It could help us so much politically and socially if we do it right. It's just a matter of how we use access to the media.
Okay. So how do we progress this? How do we move forward? How do it's going to take? You said we don't need a leader. We need all men leading on their own. We need. So what I see is when you say that, as far as guests and content, I see a lot of people can't get on here alone a lot. It's a lot
Right.
of people that need guests. So that's why I see a lot of once a weekers. You see a lot of once a monthers, and then when they come once a week, it's the same old guest. It's the same old guest, the same old content with no resolution. And I'm fine with the same old content. I'm fine even when I hit them with the trauma. When I said the trauma dumping, I'm okay with uh mental issues and mental health. I don't mind y'all talking about it. But when I see it, I just see no no resolution at the end. It's just we're on here talking about it and I see no help at the end. When I see these podcasts, it's just like, oh, we're gonna keep talking about it, but
A
it's never
solution. It's not solutions oriented. It comes across like a bunch of pissing and moaning and not solutions oriented. And if that's the purpose of your podcast, to piss and moan, more power to you, pee and moan all you want to. But when
yeah.
every appearance I do, it doesn't matter what it is, I sit back and take stock afterwards and say, what did I accomplish? Or when I go into an appearance, what I want my end result to be. If you're doing content, everything you do should have a CTA, a call to action, something that's going to spur movement forward. Because if you're just regurgitating the same material with no resolution or no insight at the end, then you're a hobbyist. Then you can't. People aren't going to take you seriously. And part of the problem is we're gonna have to step outside of black circles to do black podcasts right. And to some people that won't make sense. But the thing is, if you're in an echo chamber, if you're in a group and you're not seeing any movement and you're trying to do right, then go to another group. Go to a group that's not black. You a lot of times I
Do you
found
leave the
I
group?
can huh?
Do you believe in algorithms? Do you leave the group? Do you join these groups and you keep seeing the same thing over and over? And do you just, hey, I need to leave this group?
Right.
No offense to no one in the group or whoever made the group that invited me to the group, but I keep seeing things I don't want to see. I need to maybe unfollow a couple podcasts.
That's what I did. That's what I've done. Because if anybody knows me, I don't really don't join groups. Just for that reason, because a lot of them are stagnant. A lot of them just I don't even know why they exist because they aren't spurring anything other than controversy. Now you want to put some bullshit in a group, oh that'll pop off quick, real quick, and you know I'm right. But anything that is more along the lines of being progressive and solutions oriented, that doesn't happen too often. And what you find is a stagnation in our communication as a people. So, I mean, let me take an example. There was more rigmarole about Carmelo Anthony and that mess, because he's guilty, than there is discussion about people like Thomas Sowell. So that kind of gives you the spirit and content, but bullshit gets clicks and giggles. I hope that people do take their podcasting careers more seriously and hopefully monetize it. I think that's part of economic, franchisement for Black people. It could be that, but you might get a bump, when something happens. But other than that, it's not real. It's not substantive. And the way to spurn your content is take advantage of those controversies and be solutions oriented. That'll prompt people to listen to you more. But just sitting around dogging each other and all that, especially in terms of creators, you're not gonna get much support from black men as far as being a content creator. And it's sad it's their way, but unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But that's indicative of our community in general. This is nothing new. I'm from Memphis. Okay, I lived my first 40 years in Memphis. That's all I saw there was crab in the bucket mentality. Then you see why my hometown is in the shape it's in, and that's just being transposed and projected among the black podcasting community. It's the same shit, different arena.
I was told by someone, if they're watching, join in Oracle. Most of these guys just want to have be friends. It's more of I want to meet people, but I want to stay on the same level and not really. It's really for friendship or loneliness. I've gotten that a lot,
Yeah.
or just or like you said, just trying to stay on the same level and talk, but no progression. It's the progression for me.
Right, right. Because it gets stagnant, and honestly, it gets boring. That's why I said I'm not doing any more Chitlin Circuit podcast. Now, let me clarify that. That doesn't mean I'm not doing black podcasts, but I'm taking my time more, showing more discernment when I get invited on podcasts. I'm gonna see the tone and tenor of the shows, and if I feel like it's some ratchet shit or something that's not gonna be conducive to anything I really want to propagate, I'm not doing them.
So
You know.
what is your qualifications? What would you like to talk about when you come on podcast?
Anything. I mean, I guess I'm unique. People call me weird all the time, which I don't give a damn because I got a lot of different interests. I'm a mental health advocate. I started a nonprofit, ran two political campaigns, black Christian conservative. I worked in the wrestling business, anime business. So I can talk about pretty much anything. It's not necessarily your subject matter, it's how you approach it and using due diligence. I feel like there was one podcast I was on where the young lady played clips from another black podcast, and it was the most ignorant, stupid thing I actually got off the podcast. I'm like, I don't even want to participate in this because it was about the Carmelo Anthony situation, and it was just done so messily. I'm like, no one can take this seriously. And the thing is, if that's your content, if that's your niche, fine. But don't just be careful of how that comes across because it can muddy the waters for those of us that are black content creators that are doing more serious work as well. Because we don't have the advantage a lot of different cultures have. It's like I've said this about black culture. We're the only culture that makes ourselves into a monolith. We're very monolithic. If it's black, it has to be this, and this. And when you operate by that notion, you pigeonhole yourself, and that could be dangerous as far as how you craft the perception of you in society. It can go a lot deeper. Uh, if you notice, a lot of the media, when if you look at other cultures, because I follow all kinds of content creators,
Hmm.
and a lot of times even they're critical of black media. So we have to be cognizant of that because you have to understand, and I don't want people to let this go to their heads, but you are part of the media,
Yes.
to varying degrees, and it was never like that before. So I think that should bring forth a certain responsibility and accountability. Everybody's not like that, that's fine, but those that are looking to elevate our people, we should be conscious of that.
So when you say, I think they're scared of being themselves. When you say you brought up the wrestling and the anime and all the other stuff, I think black men really like that type of stuff, but they're scared to talk about it at certain times. I think, like you said, they're scared to be weird when it's not really weird. It's you're just scared to be
So
yourself.
you are, yeah, and then I think if you worried about what people think about you, you don't need to be on the internet.
No.
Because that means you seeking validation and stuff. Anybody that knows me know I'm gonna be me. I don't give a damn. I don't mean that in a. I'm a cynic, not in the classical sense, but in the modern sense. But you got to be you, and because people can tell authenticity, and that's a big part of being a podcaster. If people think you fake, or people think you contrived, or if you one note, you're not gonna last long. But you have to be open to discussing different views and things like that, especially in terms of politics, because. Me being a black Christian conservative, I also, I get a lot of invites and people try to do the little gotcha moments. But my point has always been that we don't codify ourselves politically. We all typically or have been indoctrinated to vote one way when that doesn't happen in any other race. So I'm like, one of my main points is why don't we have our brothers on the right and brothers on the left and then really have representation? And it's like people are so afraid to address notions and challenge things because they really doing a podcast for validation and not to change anything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like they doing it as an
Uh,
ego stroke, and it's fine and that's good. You can do what you want to do, but I'm just saying, it's consequences, direct or indirect, to anything you do. Even inaction has a consequence. So, I would like to see, more people really getting involved in these groups. You just don't see much networking. You just
well,
don't.
people are afraid to say they like Trump.
I ain't,
Black
because I'm not weak.
black
Because a lot of these people are weak. They
yeah,
are weak,
yeah.
especially a lot of these black men are weak as hell. Don't speak their mind, or they feel like, or a lot of them are simping. A lot of them are saying things that either they haven't thought about and researched in a manly way, or either say things that they don't believe to pander to people, whether it be women, the left, or whoever. Speak your truth. That's all you got to do. That's why a lot of them not going anywhere. They torn the party line. They not researching. They not showing discernment, and then she gets old. And you look at your views. Look, do your
Mhm.
analytics. Do things like that to be a real podcast. If not, then don't call yourself a just call yourself a hobbyist.
Uh, uh, I've seen black men shame other black men into promoting their podcast. Oh, you put ads on there, like you can't put ads on it.
Yeah, they not just man. This that crab in the bucket mentality. It's no way you can thought. We had this in our communities for years. You know what I'm saying? Even before the internet. So I guess I'm not surprised that that kind of rolled over into the social media, you know, universe. So it's basically just the same problems we were having in our communities for decades. It's just here now, and so I think now that we have migration over to a new landscape, we can change that narrative of being crabs in the bucket to being people that lift each other up, because it's so easy. All you gotta do is share a lake, but a brother won't do that. All you gotta do is not dog another brother, but they don't do that. So I think a lot of the problem, black men are the most judged, I think, group in the world. We're the most vilified, you know.
I
Um,
hate it. I hate it when they have a problem and they don't discuss it, and
nah,
they
a
act.
lot.
I hate that. I hate it when they just walk around on and be in the same groups and don't say nothing and don't
It's
discuss. It's all
it,
content at the end of the day. I think it's all you can all it can all be used as
it,
as a
it, it can be. Yeah, a lot of us stay on the plantation. We had a plantation mindset. Don't venture out. Don't do nothing different. Stay same old, same old, same old. That's how the our oppressors have conditioned us to be. So
and
it's so ingrained in our.
once y'all argue, y'all done. Y'all can't talk ever again, ever.
Right, right, and that divisiveness has been indoctrinated and put into us, and you're just seeing it just be perpetuated. And the sad thing is that those of us that venture off the plantation and go into different areas and start to expand ourselves, we're never supported by our home base, by quote unquote our people. I don't believe in black unity anymore. It don't exist. I only see black unity on some bullshit. You very rarely see it on anything positive. Not saying you don't, but I would like to see it more on positive endeavors instead of race baiting, instead of controversial issues, things that really not go expand us as a diaspora. So, you know, um, everybody can go with you, and that's fine and it's true. But those that do want more, uh, you know, I think we need to go more so in that direction.
What do you feel about the fake community outreach guys, the guys that do the fake? I love the community, and they really don't.
They really
They
don't.
use it as views too. They use it as views, and they're not really. I like if you're in the community and you're doing politics. I need to see a book. I need to see you on a show where you're actually. I don't need you sitting on your phone. That's another thing too. Y'all on y'all phones too much, and I just need to see. I hate seeing the fake ones. I hate seeing the fake community uplifters. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, like these Dr. Umars and those kind of
Oh
clowns.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
he's fake.
yeah, I can't stand him. He's a joke. But yeah, it's a lot of people just not solution oriented. They just want to say they got a podcast, and not really offer any solutions. Even if you're not the kind of person, even if you're not the person that's going to write a book or that's going to get involved, then push your content to people that are. help people
Right,
lift up.
right.
Every episode you should do, you should have something that's going to be an ascension, not just for black people, but for all people. If you're not doing it, you just basically vlogging.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really a lot of these podcasts come down to. They just vlogs. You know, they're not really anything constructive. So you know, you have to define your purpose when you do a podcast. You know, who's your audience? Do some research, do some due diligence behind it, and maybe you can build something where you can have a viable network, a viable stream, or a viable economic stream. Support yourself, enrich yourself, and not only that, but actually help your people and your community.
I agree. I agree. What, I had another one. I had a couple. I had a lot more.
Mhm.
Um, we did the fake community uplift. You got any more for while I'm looking?
The toxicity market. I think like you were alluding to, the fake outrage, the fake positivity, and this the gravitation toward toxic material, just for clicks. I think that's something that should change, and I don't expect it to, because human nature tends to gravitate toward the negative. But you have to be aware of that, and you have to understand what are you offering that the next person isn't offering. If you're doing a podcast and you're not trying to market it, then you're a hobbyist. So stay in that place. But I just
Now,
hate we see an influx of black media views when it's something toxic that happens. And why do we keep accentuating the negative? Why do we keep being divisive? Not only in terms of the content that we put out, but behind the scenes in terms of networking. I've met very few brothers really trying to network. I met some,
mhm,
but you know, they all say the same thing that you and I are saying. They like, we are few and far in between.
I have PTSD with guests and
Yeah.
on other. I think I had been on a couple shows and I've been shook and I've been shook ever since. I'm gonna be honest.
Right.
I don't know. I'm scared to go on shows. I'm scared to have somebody on my show. I have to when I have somebody on my show. I have to have a backup just in case
Right.
they don't show up or something like that. And it happens a lot. And then when I go on the show, I'm usually just sitting there because I'm the only one talking, and there's four other people, and four other people ain't on the screen, and I feel like I'm the only one actually podcasting. So I just kind of fell back a lot. But yeah, I don't get the whole yeah I don't get
Yeah, you have to see content and guests that are on your level. You know, if you're the type of podcaster that takes your craft seriously and makes notes and makes preparation, you shouldn't have guests that just, hey, get off the toilet and hop on a podcast on their phone while they driving the Wendy's.
yeah. Oh
It's
my
not
god.
gonna match up with what you're doing. You know, it's just not. I mean, you know, you're gonna get out what you put in. I did a podcast with a city councilman back in my hometown, and she was eating on the podcast, and I'm like, nah, I mean, you couldn't wait, you
Now I
know?
understand if you have normal content and you have your office that you're always in, and every now and then you jump in the car and you do it every now and then.
Right, right.
But the constant guy or the lady that's always on somebody's podcast that knocks. This is my thing. The guy that's always on everybody's podcast and knocks all the sound off. It's not their fault. It's the person
Right,
that keeps inviting them.
right.
It's
I
not
think,
their
yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. That was it.
I think presentation is important. You know, I think the way you come across is important, because you need to be timely, you need to be consistent, and a lot of people aren't. And I've just noticed, it's just over the 8 years, and I've probably done a few hundred podcasts, and I'm just thinking about, why is it that oftentimes when it's my people doing it, is lacking? Why is that not more solutions oriented? Why is that not something that we could codify to a greater degree and improve ourselves, or at least welcome divergent views? It's like a lot of them, it's like we just living in a digital barbershop, and it's not the good barbershop. And that's all we kind of getting out of it.
After 6 or 8 months, if you don't have a mixer and a camera and an actual computer, well, I don't feel like you're taking it serious.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I mean, you can get a whole podcast and pick it. You can get a decent one for 200 or less. At least something to get you started on. But you have to put production into it because it comes across. And if you don't, I'm not saying you have to have graphics and go all out.
Right,
And everybody can't be like a content creator with 18 million viewers, followers like Asmongold or
right.
Tozy or guys like that. But if you can find your niche, you got to maximize it. You got to work with what you got. And if you go into a half ass or not really doing it right, it's gonna be reflected in your followers. It's gonna be reflected in any monetization you may have in place. And if you're constantly talking about toxic content, people are gonna follow you when something bad happen. But look at your followers when things are quiet. When we don't have a Nolan Wells.
Right.
When we don't have a Carmelo Anthony. If your stuff just dips down to nothing, you don't have a platform. You just have a
All
bitches
trending
host.
topics. It's
Right.
like you don't have your own thought. Like it's like you can't think of nothing if nothing's trending. If there's no football game or no basketball game, and I'm be honest with you, George. I do the trash topics from time to time.
Mhm.
It's entertaining to me. It's
Right.
entertaining to me. But I do other stuff like how we doing right now.
Right.
But but you just when there's nothing trending, what do you do? I feel like that's that week. I feel like that's in 2 months. It's like there's where you see them gaps where there's no rapper got shot. You ain't got nothing to talk about,
Yeah.
huh?
And see, when you fall on that, what you end up doing is you end up when something does happen, you end up not being fair, not being prudent in how you approach it. You like, I got to milk this for all it's worth. So let me say some stuff that's not true. Let me clickbait. Let me rage bait. Let me race bait. And then you have no content. What you have is, like I said, you become so reactionary that you have no platform. And the thing is, I don't want people to. I don't care what they say it or not, but somebody might be listening to me saying you just ragging on black folks. No, I'm trying to be solutions oriented. Everything we've talked about, we've also offered solutions to try to abate a lot of those ills. So, and that's what a lot of these podcasts are missing.
I
And
I don't care. I'm talking about black folks because I'm tired of hearing it. Because I keep hearing black folks ain't got the podcasting yet. So when they coming? So when the black podcast market ain't been hit yet, hasn't it? Has it?
It
When is
has.
it?
It's been here. It's been here. It has totally been here. But you have a bastardized, ratchet, version of it that's becoming more and more dominant because of. I'm gonna say it because a lot of folks on the left and a lot of Democrats. That's what they stoking black folks. Your racial trauma, it is. So all we doing is yelling because that's how our white liberal saviors have conditioned us to be. So anything that's divergent or erudite or speaks of any discourse or anything solutions, they don't want us to propagate anyway. So, you got that played into it. Of course, we're gonna get a whole bunch of crap.
It's we don't even have fun anymore. We can't have fun. We can't talk about Spider-Man like I did. We can't
Yeah.
talk about the Green Lantern coming out.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
another one too. How do you feel when I uh, little little dip a little bit? How do you
Because
feel about them talking about the black British actor? I feel
but
like it's fake. I feel like that's they look at it more black. I look at it more of an American thing. They taking American jobs, not black jobs.
right. Well, the thing is,
There's white ones too.
right.
Spider-Man's British.
Right. Well, I think a lot of it is, we some people, some of us, definitely not me, and I don't believe it's you. They made their race their religion. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't see a lot of the black podcasting space is mostly racial trauma, leftist doctrine. You see very few actual like black creators doing stuff like a comic book podcast. You see some, and I notice a lot of them, they're not in America. I like venues like I'm doing a podcast with Furman Jackson on the 12th. We just gonna talk wrestling, pro wrestling. I worked in the business. We gonna chop it up on that kind of stuff never gets a play. But it's like the only thing that gets promoted is racial trauma, white man is, we hate Trump. And it's old. And that's why you're not seeing stuff take off as far as black social media. If it ain't ghetto, it doesn't get followed. It doesn't get propagated. If it's not controversial, it doesn't get looked at. And the thing is, you get out what you put in. What we take in as far as social media is like our diet. And we taking in a whole lot of shit and wonder why our stomach hurt and why we're not getting anywhere. I'm not saying it's not a place for it, but we got to do better.
Gotta mix it up a little bit. You can
Yeah, you got to mix it up a little bit, and it's like a fear to do that.
back in the day, we do all that around about midnight, 1 o'clock.
Right,
And
right.
now we at a time where it's 24/7.
Yeah, it's 24/7. We have a never ending news cycle. So there's plenty of content out there,
Yeah.
in terms of being a content creator. But, what kind of content are you looking to put out there? If you're getting your news and education and ideas from a TikTok video or social media, you're a fool.
Mhm.
One thing I do, I look at news from around the world.
Right.
I wrote about the Japanese and how they handle immigration. So I tied that into something that I wrote here. If you're not taking in things, if you're not learning, you're gonna have a very limited scope of your content, and that's gonna be inhibition to your success.
Right. I'm more into the aliens. Black people don't talk
Yes.
about that.
Right, right. I used to listen to Art Bell. People don't. If you don't know who Art Bell is, famous radio personality. I listened to him as a teenager. I listened to Howard Stern. I listened to Rush Limbaugh.
Howard
I listened.
Stern. I used to live in Howard
Yeah.
Stern. They say
I
Howard
don't.
Stern ain't
He can kind of went off the rails now the past few years, but back in high school, when I drove to school every day, I listened to Howard Stern. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And and one thing about him, uh, and this is something that's very rare. I'm glad I thought about that. One thing I always admired about Howard Stern, he was a great interviewer. He could pull stuff out of people, and a
Yeah.
lot of these people should not be on podcasts. A lot of people aren't qualified to be hosts. They're not good interviewers. They're not good speakers. Not saying you have to be erudite and an orator, but they don't have they're not developing those skills to make their podcast palatable. They don't spend time on production. They don't have notes. They don't have a format, and it just looks like somebody just going live talking for an hour about random shit, and then that's not codifying yourself.
You said they use race as religion,
Right.
but I think we talked about religion bashing, but you
Right.
can't be a Christian nowadays.
No, you can't be. Nah, it's like you a Christian. I was did one podcast and these folks talking about they hate God. They don't get
Right.
God. That's fine, but it's like they had the stupidest. Oh, I'm almost cursed. They had the stupidest reason for it, and then they can't talk it out. It's like when I tell people on podcasts I'm a Christian. Well, I don't believe in God and God is evil. Okay, what's your proof? If you brought it up to me and you can't discuss it, stop bringing up stuff you know nothing about. Stop bringing up stuff you can't take. You can't just declare a point on a podcast and just throw your rock and hide your hand. You need to be able to at least not necessarily justify, because you can get justify shit to nobody, but at least explain your point of view, and that's where the discourse or lack thereof comes in.
Right. Because I don't mind people not believing in God. I don't like the fact that you try to make others not believe.
Right.
Like,
Well, if you notice, if you look at society, there's some Democrats do. They taking black folks away from Christianity and God because they're making like I said, their race, their religion. Victimhood is the new doctrine. Victimhood is the new virtue. It's not about accountability. It's not about doing what you got to do. It's about whining about somebody else. And one way they use to pacify you, they put a chasm between the black folks and God. I wrote an essay about the failure of the black church. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's failed as an institution, but people don't want to discuss that. They rather talk about who killed who, and some random rapper that gets shot every week. And it's fine if that's your niche, that's your niche. But don't think you're gonna get anywhere really fruitful or prosperous on that.
right. You gotta mix it up. I mean,
Yeah, you gotta be fair.
and if I kind of do both, but I like to do both. I'm in.
Right,
I have to admit, I was born at a certain time where hip hop was the thing, and
right,
I'm a hip hop kid.
right.
So, but like I said, I like other things. I like intelligent things that don't necessarily go with black community or the black culture, which I don't really believe in either.
Well,
It depends on who you're talking
yeah.
to.
Let's talk about that right quick. I'm so fucking sick this notion of what being black is, or you do something like if like I've never been skydiving, but if I go skydiving, well, it's white folk stuff. Why is that white folk stuff? Because it's something different than what you want to do.
Exactly. What
How
is black?
ignorant
Do
are
you
you?
believe in black culture,
Let me think about that. uh
or is it just American culture?
at this point, I think black culture was a thing, but I think some black people gotten so stupid and so in that nigga mindset. Man, I'm all about American culture now. I'm not finna wear no dashiki and do all that bullshit. I'm an American. I'm not an African American. I'm a black American. I ain't been to Africa. I don't know shit about Africa. They talk about going back. How you gonna go back to someplace you never been? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Those people don't like you anyway. So it's like and these people to talk about going back to Africa. You're not finna go. Wakanda doesn't exist, y'all. Black Panther was a movie. Black Panther is a character created by Stan Lee, a Jewish man in 1962. Come on, that's not a harbinger for your
That's
society.
why people just started watching superhero movies then. That's their problem. They
Yeah,
ain't been
and
watching they ain't
yeah,
been watching it since it got popular.
yeah, and the thing is, it's
Too
like
late.
we trend followers. We not trendsetters. We might set trends as far as culture, as far as music, as far as sports. But what about societal norms? What about policy? We have no influence there. We have no political power.
No,
We're giving it away.
right.
I want to discuss things like that. I want to discuss things that don't really improve us with my divergent views. People don't want to do that because it's not sexy. What do you honestly think that Al Sharpton and Ben Crumpy Crump would be down there if that initial picture we saw of a young black man with his white friends was not out there? When they saw that, they like, oh, we hit a lick. We gonna get a good nut off this. We can exploit it.
Mhm.
But people don't want to. Now, some people are calling them out on it. But oh well, it was folks that have more conspiracy theories about when something happens without doing a lick of research, and then they just put it out there. And I'm like, don't you understand? You kind of hurting all of us because people are gonna see that and they're gonna think that's indicative of all black media when we have some great. Fantastic content creators to get muddled down because you want to be on the bullshit. Do what you want to do, but understand people not gonna mess with you. People not gonna take you seriously. So
You
don't
talking
think
about
you out
Nolan
here with
Wells,
you,
right?
huh? What's
Talking about
that?
Nolan Wells.
Talking about who?
Nolan Wells, right?
Yeah, talking about the Nolan Wales thing. Yeah. They saw the optics and ran it. Here come all the race baiters, these fake black leaders that don't lead shit. And we propagate these Roland Martins, D.L. Hughley, Don Lemons, all these sissified black men. And it's like that way of thinking, that feminine black man thinking is becoming pervasive now, has infected the way we network.
Don
Has
Lemon is
affected the way,
married to a white man, right?
huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these not I don't look at them as real black men. I just look at
No.
them as
Is he even
puppets,
black?
as colors. Who?
Don Lemon's not black. He's like Asian or something, right?
Nah, he black.
Oh, okay.
He black. He talk that pro black shit where he taking it up. Oh, I'm just cussing, but
You
he,
good? You
I
good?
don't like that type. I don't like those types.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they don't have a place, but a lot of that namby pamby weakness. To me, if I see a brother he doing something, I'm gonna be like, hey, I know this person. Let's link up. Let's do something. Or hey, you see, I see what you're trying to do. I look at this homeboy. Hey, y'all link up. Y'all make something happen. And there's none of that. It's not a lot of that. That's where our power lies as a diaspora is in networking, is in collaboration. But if you in a pigeonhole, if you in an echo chamber, especially politically, in terms of black media and social media, you're not doing anything.
That's what I want you to explain. Explain the echo chamber.
What an echo chamber is, it's an area. It's an encapsulated area. It can almost be literal if you want it to be, where you have a group of like-minded people that get in and they all agree on one thing,
Hmm.
and it's just a safe place for them to say the same bullshit without any discernment.
Everything got to
And
be racist. They
right.
found they old girl got shot around the corner. It's racist. The white boy did it
It's
because
right, yeah. So when you stay in those areas, you believe that stuff after a while. Like it ties into the notion of Plato's cave. Plato had a theory that people live in a cave and all they see is shadows on the wall. So they believe that's how it actually is. But yet, when a person escapes that cave, sees the real world, and comes back to tell them, they're ostracized as being a seller, as being a traitor. So that's the theory behind Plato's cave. And I think we as black folks have that worse than anybody.
yeah, yeah.
So, I guess people have to endeavor to do better. But as far as having a leader, you can have an example. You can find people that you can model yourself after. I don't believe in role models. I believe in people. I think you should mimic the habits of successful people. But the notion of a role model is kind of stupid. But there's some people I look up to. Thomas Sowell. I follow some of his habits and some of his routines. Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
I study a lot of different things. So you have in order to be a creator, you have to take in influence. And I think a
Every
lot of people just fall into click and record and going live without doing any research or preparation, and wonder why the content is lagging, because you have to absorb different things, learn different things to round yourself out, because you can't be a good chef if you only eat your own food.
Mhm.
So that's something we need to learn and try. And even me, I'm still learning and evolving. So I'm just trying to
You
help other
definitely
people
know.
come up and
You
improve
definitely
themselves.
because I'm not gonna lie. When I told you I came to I haven't been podcasting too long. I did not want to be a black podcaster. I wanted to sway away from that, but just something just happened where I'm just here now. It's I think it's just natural, and it's not that I it's not that I cared too much. It's just I wonder why. I just want to know why. I want to know why. I don't. This is only my third episode about this. I've done 250 episodes.
Right.
It's more. It's not more of a I'm hating. Well, they're going to say I'm a hater. Um, or hating on black men or hating on the black. I just want to know why because I know it could be better.
Right.
So that's why I did my own thing the first episode. I did some with some others second, and I had to do this with you. I seen you and you explained the Chitlin circuit and all those other things, and I was like, I just want to know why. And you put it you hitting a lot of nails on the coffin, and you
Right.
said it's not something I can do. It's not something you can do.
Right.
Every
Absolutely.
we need more. That's just my feeling. My thing is I wish. I don't think it will get better. What do you think?
I think this is what I think is gonna make black folks better. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't care what nobody say about what I'm trying to say. Man, forget your melanin. Your race is not your religion, and your race and your history is not necessarily your identity to the point where it's to define you. I believe in aligning with people of like mind and values. We identify and hold on to race so much. Not saying, not trying to invalidate it, but now with the world being what it is, it's gonna be more unification among values. Get with folks that represent your values. Get with folks and content creators that represent what you believe in, what you stand for. And understand all skin folks ain't kin folks either. So if you have like if you have guests, don't just have black guests. Have other guests of other people that reflect the theme of your show. Diversify, broaden your horizon. That'll grow your audience. That'll grow your impact. And if your goal is to be a prolific black podcaster or a media member or content creator, that's gonna help your brand too, because we ain't gonna get there doing it all by ourselves. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But at the same time, we're not gonna get there holding each other down, hating on each other. Oh, he lame because he think this. All that bullshit we've been doing, because you're gonna see it in the group after this show. You know the feedback from this show is gonna be some dumb shit. And that's fine because I'm not gonna work with them folks anyway. I'll
Right.
block you in a minute. So I've just found if you work and align on values and where you want to be and who you are, you'll have a better career. You'll be able to have more of an impact. But if you're just doing the same old regurgitation of the same old doctrine, the same old stuff that we heard for years and years and years, if you're doing what everybody else is doing, you're not gonna be successful.
And if you're doing it once a week and there's not I want somebody to name me something that you do once a week that's successful in the world. There's nothing you can do once a week and you can be successful at. I don't know if I'm
Nothing.
right. I might be right. I might be wrong. I don't know.
I mean, you go to church on Sunday, but that's about the only thing I think you can do once a week. And
I
people
don't
are putting
like
up.
them type people. I don't like you better go to church on Wednesday, Bible study. Nah,
Mhm.
church on Sunday ain't enough for me.
It's just people aren't. I think the key is people aren't investing in themselves. Even me. I've been a public speaker for years, but I'm still taking public speaking courses. I just started a course at Harvard on philosophy and ethics. I'm taking, and things like that. And if you think you're not going to invest in equipment and classes and things to improve yourself, and you're going to spend that much time in it, you're not serious about it. And it's just if you're not serious about it,
It
don't
costs.
try to be.
It costs to turn it costs to turn the stream yard on.
Yeah, yeah, it costs. It costs, and try to use different resources. Try to find, if you can find a free app that's going to help you, go ahead and invest in it. Um, um, you're gonna get out what you put in, and a lot of content creators, not just black ones, but get disillusioned because they aren't having the reach or anything that they want. But you got to look at what do you put, how much time are you actually putting in preparation? Are you networking? I get more opportunities because of people I've networked with than I
Mm.
do, approaching people to begin on podcasts. That's because I've learned how to network. And we don't do that.
I
We'd rather
heard
spend
this.
time hating on each other than helping each other.
I heard this somewhere. It's not your net worth, it's your network.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. You can get more done with a viable network than you can. with the BS, with the divisiveness, and it's just we don't network, and just even I hate to keep going back to politics, but I will. I noticed when I started, I've always been conservative ever since I was a kid. This is nothing new. Folks know me when I was 14, said this is George, who you are. But as I started interacting more with that side of the community, they would network with you quicker than anybody. If you, I think it's just a mindset thing. Because when I was dealing with people on the left, now really wasn't no networking. There was a lot of sniping. There was a lot of pettiness. But
Mhm.
since I started kind of getting ensconced in more, conservative endeavors, I would not lie to you. Them people will follow you. They will support you. They will put you on. But we don't.
Mm. That is true.
Hey, this is real talk. I can prove it. I can show it to you. So what's the difference?
I can show it to you too. I
Mm-hmm.
can show it to you too.
It ain't about getting no acceptance. It ain't about trying to please nobody or being no pick me. See, when they come with that mess, that's how you know they just niggas. They
Yeah,
not about nothing.
yeah.
Don't start with that mess because you gonna align by your values. If somebody gonna put you on and help you out, hey, that's who you rock with. I don't care if it's your own people. I don't believe in that blood is make you family. It means you got genetic material, but I don't ascribe to clan culture because it don't mean shit. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
because that
saying?
family use that title to
To exploit you.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's just reality. It is a reality, and it's just and this issue is indicative of what goes on a lot in our communities. It happens in other communities too, but I ain't white. I can't speak to them. I can offer an opinion, but I'm black. That's what I'm dealing with home first. I'm dealing with my people first, and
And I
that's
and
something
I
we need
see
to
and I
change.
see another thing in that community. They got a different because they show me a Joe Rogan and such. We can't do that.
No, we can't. We
We
can't. And see, we
just
can't
give
let
us one.
somebody. Right. I mean, we can't. We don't have any really just. I think like prominent just black podcasters other than the race baiters, just because it's like it feels almost like if you a black podcast and you want to black.
Black women, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. But it's like if you're not discussing race as a black man, if you're not on that rah rah hate the white man
Mm.
bullshit, Trump is evil. It's like
And
it's hard to find.
that's a lot of people doing that. So that's like
Yeah,
everybody doing the same thing.
everybody doing the same thing. Everybody, it's almost as like as though when people get ready to do their podcast, it's like they're almost from the mindset of, okay, what's going to get me clicks? What everybody else doing instead of being themselves and speaking their own voice. Because when I really started being kind of prolific in terms of my writing as far as black conservatism this past holidays, I
Mhm.
got a lot of calls and DMs from people saying, "Hey, I believe what you're saying. I've never voted Democrat, but if I say that, oh, my wife gonna leave me. Big Mama told me not to come for Thanksgiving. As long as you got people being cowards and afraid to be themselves, you're gonna have this garbage that we have.
I don't know how you could vote for Kamala, man. I don't know how you
Ah,
could
man,
do
I could never do that. I'd be glad we have a real black president.
that.
Barry wasn't black. Barry,
Joe
I,
Biden said, "If you don't vote for me, you ain't black." I was offended. I was offended.
yeah, I was offended when Barry came out and chastised black men for not voting for Kamala. She ain't black. Hell, Barry ain't black. He got a white mama. I'm ready for a real black. I'm talking about Leroy Jackson out of Oakland. I'm ready for that kind of black president. Not this stuff the Democrats went and manufactured and this bullshit about black excellence, which is killing us because we need to be worried about excellence.
Yeah, 'cause
Because the world don't care about your black
them
excellence.
last
They
two
worry
was
about your
pretty petty.
excellence. Yeah.
If
But you know,
and if y'all gonna say the white boy racist, he gonna if he showed me, oh well. He's supposed to protect my rights. That's all he's supposed to.
yeah.
And I rock with Ice.
Yeah, I rock with Ice.
Rock.
Man, when Ice came to my hometown in Memphis, man, I called my ex-wife, I called my friends. I'm like, y'all feel safer? They said, we feel so much safer. But black folks want to be anti-Ice. Man, it's not even your argument, man. They sit up trying to replace you as the minuscule voter base that you have been. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Everybody voted, 80% of people voted, registered voters voted for the president, but in your local elections, it may be 20% or less. And then 20 to 25% of black men voted for Trump this last time. I posted that statistic, that fact. I verified it. And these stupid brothers talking about that's not true. Well, you a dumb son of a bitch. If I give you evidence and you refuse it, then there's nothing I can do for you.
And nothing I can do for you. It's
It's
like
not, I'm like, you might as
who
well
you
go on out the
believe?
door. We can't handle discussion.
Who you believe?
I've never seen it where I see so many people sit up here and refute a fact in front of their face. They'll take a 30-second TikTok clip, claim it's gospel, but you get them facts, figures, context, and history. Oh, well, that's just this. Man, go on now. We ain't got nothing to talk about. We can't have a discussion. And that's what's holding us back as black people.
All right. So let me ask you this. Give me your thoughts. I might give you mine. Give you ours might be the same. We'll see. Give me
Okay.
your thoughts on what happened to Nolan Wells. What you think happened?
I think he was out. I think they were drinking. I think, probably something happened, they left him behind. I think he drowned. I think he may have tried to swim back or something. Do I think they gained him and killed him? No, man. Come on. Ain't no evidence of that. I think the mama is really messed herself up. I think she's gonna be caught in several lies. I think when she let Slickback Sharpton and being crappy attorney Crump come in, everybody was like, "Oh, we know what this is. This is a cash grab." These black activists and so-called civil rights leaders who I ain't never heard of, don't lead shit. They always come with a rhetoric and a GoFundMe. That's all they do. They just hucksters. We got hundreds of cases of black on black crime, black folks getting unalived every day. Where are they then? But anything that's high profile, that's sexy, that's gonna stoke up nigga reactions, oh, here they come. So I don't even take them seriously, man. I don't take them serious. Look at the Carmelo Anthony. They had a little representative, little jack leg, back pocket ass preacher come up, and look how that turned out.
They brought the show down there with Charleston White.
Yeah, and then Charleston White said, "I'm not doing this mess.
Yeah,
It's just a whole bunch of bullshit." See, people and white people actually think that we have leaders. I'm like, no, we ain't got no leaders. Don't nobody speak for none of us.
mm-mm.
You might speak for a
Speak for
couple
everybody.
people, but,
Yeah.
but there's no, and there shouldn't be. There's not supposed to be. But it's just, Malcolm X told us in the '60s. He said, your white liberal saviors are going to use your black celebrities to try to lead you. I don't want to give it. I don't give a damn what Beyonce got to say about the issue. Sing that song and shut up.
Yeah, sing
You know
that
what I'm
song.
saying? The first thing we do, we have an issue in the black community. We go to a damn celebrity that doesn't affect policy, that's not doing anything other than they entertainment stuff. We going to the wrong people trying to think we gonna find the right answers, and that's not gonna happen.
Y'all just go to the concert. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
No, we're not saying don't go to the concert. We're not saying that. We
right.
saying stop listening to these things.
Yeah, stop listening to them. I mean, stop listening to the same old stuff because a lot of them spewing the same old shit. And you got to understand, those people don't live in the real world. They're not living like you, so their perspective is going to be skewed anyway. Just I posted this a couple weeks ago about people where they get their news from, where they get their information from, and I
Mhm.
have a few sources. Anytime I get a statistic, I check it out three, four, five times. I read two or three different stories on the same subject. I go to 1440 News. I go to Associated Press. I look internationally. I watch the BBC, the NHK before I try to form an opinion. And we're living in a society where now black reaction and black discourse is more emotional based and reactionary than it is fact based or logical. And that's why we get a lot of the ignorant, stupid stuff that we're seeing. And you know what the thing is, the news cycle is so disposable. It's not going to last long. So we need to be more evidentiary. We need to practice more due diligence, especially if you're going to get on a podcast and start talking about shit.
Mhm. If you send it to me on Facebook, I gotta look up and make sure it's true for about 8 hours.
Right, right. Yeah,
To
got to
send me
research it.
Facebook links. I don't believe that.
Nah, you can't. You can't. And it's not just with us. I see white folks do the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. You're
I
old.
see up they do the same. They take a link and they just and it could
Oh,
be anybody,
yeah,
you
and
know.
it could be a 30-second clip from a 30-minute video, and you just run with this 30 seconds.
Look at the Charlie Kirk stuff. I'm gonna see the president for Turning Point USA. I followed Charlie Kirk for years, and when he got assassinated, you had people taking a 30-second clip that he said and casting a whole impression of this man without going for full context. And that's the most sloppy, feminine, bitch ass stuff I've ever heard of. I'm sorry. When my father raised me, he said, "Son, you need to show discernment. You got to do research." And these folks, especially in Charlie Kirk case, they take a 30-second clip, don't parse it. Don't think about it, forming a whole opinion. Go out there and spew a whole bunch of bullshit, sound like a damn fool, and wonder why
It
don't
was
nobody
a
take it seriously.
say I'm wrong or not. It was a different opinion on Charlie Kirk after he died. It wasn't this much black hate before.
But yeah, because I know that's when it really I
Or is
really
that
started.
because niggas didn't know who he was and it was trending and
Yeah, yeah, and you got your leftist media throwing up a clip of him saying something, and niggas ain't gonna do no research. They're gonna take that and run with it. They're not gonna go back and watch a whole debate and understand his response was prompted by a question asked by somebody else. They're not gonna. It's just lazy, man.
and
It's just
I'm gonna be
intellectual.
honest, I have no really opinion on Charlie Kirk. To
Mm-hmm.
me, honest, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know who Charlie Kirk. I see a couple clips, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was just a meme. But remember, he was just a meme, and they put something in front of the picture. To me, I thought, oh, that's a dude on
Right.
the meme. To
Right.
me,
I've been following for years. I've
yes,
been following for the past few years. He started Turning Point in college to help disenfranchised communities and been doing that work. I'm so sick of having to defend Turning Point as an organization because people are just stupid. They think it's a political organization. No, our work, we don't espouse any political views. We try to register people to vote. We work on community programs, marriage restoration, things like that. But people listen to these Roland Martins and these other black folks and don't sit up here and discern for themselves. They don't know what the hell they talking about. So that's why I'm more selective in the podcast I do. If a host doesn't show discernment, why am I waste my time? I got a purpose. I got goals I'm trying to help my people, trying to help myself. I'm not gonna waste no time on Pookie and them podcasts.
exactly. I was about to say something else, but let me tell you what I think happened to Nolan Webb. This is probably why the way I say it is probably why they call me a race bait. I think Nolan got caught up playing white boy games with all
Mm-hmm.
that drinking,
Mm-hmm.
possibly all that snorting,
Mm-hmm.
because they say he was on them drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say this, I tell my son when them white boys pull out them Jaeger bombs and them
Mm-hmm.
Jaegers, you kind of want to start watching your back, son,
Yeah.
just or changing your whole thought on the rest of the day of hanging with them. You might want to go
Yeah.
sit in the corner or slow down. I think he got caught up snorting and playing white boy games. And oh, you ain't gonna finish it. You ain't gonna finish your Jaeger, Nolan. He got caught up in that. White boys take it to a whole nother level, and that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. And he couldn't handle it, and
He drowned.
and something happened to him, and they
Yeah,
tried to
he
cover
drowned.
it up. They're guilty for covering it up because somebody's
Mm-hmm.
obviously covering this
Right.
up. I give them that. Whoever's and it's not them. Somebody's helping them,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't kill him on purpose.
No, no, and people love creating that narrative because they want to be victims. You
Mhm,
know what I'm saying? Some black folks, oh, the white, you want to blame everything for you not being shit in life.
mhm.
Well, I didn't make it because I'm the white man. Now the white man just sit up there and make you have 4 kids by 8 different men. Wasn't no white man involved when you was doing that.
And
When
then
you
they
went
throw
and
the little
robbed the
white
liquor
girl
store and
in
got
there
and
to
got here, huh?
they throw the little white girl in there to confuse you. Well,
I, I, I,
she ain't part of the story.
yeah. I look at it like this: we don't have all the evidence yet. Evidently,
Mhm.
corrupt Ben Crump hadn't released the results from the independent autopsy. So until I have the evidence, I'm not gonna say nothing either way. They showed a video of two random chicks in scrubs on TikTok talking about how they saw the body; it was all beat up. I knew that was bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, everybody. Just with the Carmelo Anthony, before they released the videotape of what happened, they had 2, 3 random folks, black folks, talking about, well, I saw the video and they was beating them and stomping them. None of it was true. But somebody put on TikTok, you taking the gospel without waiting or discernment and think you're gonna come across as a responsible podcast or somebody to be taken seriously. Stop being in such a rush to be first.
When
Stop being so in such a rush to get something out there before you know what's really going on.
when I seen Carmelo, no offense, when I seen Carmelo, he looked real scrawny, and I was like, nah, them was two NFL bound. Nah,
Yeah, he would have been lumped up.
yeah, he would have been nah. They was standing face to face.
Hmm.
They was
Yeah.
up. They was upright.
Yeah, and people still they go still argue that point. You know what I've learned to do is to say, hey, man, think what you think, feel what you feel. It ain't what I feel, man. You have a blessed day.
I don't think. I
You know
don't
what I'm saying?
think. I don't think he. I don't think you hitting that ground with that big white boy and you getting up.
No,
Nah,
no.
once you on that ground, you down there.
Yeah, and you brought a knife, man. You had to take it out. He had to take it
Yeah,
out his bag to stab the boy. And you stab somebody in the body, man. You trying to kill him.
he
It ain't
already
like
took it out.
I mean, it just is what it is. He a murderer. When you get through with it, his family failed him. His weak ass daddy failed him, and all that kind of stuff. And
I
now you
will say
seeing
that
in the no, huh?
his dad definitely felt
Yeah, that's a bitch ass dude right there. His dad. I'm sorry. But just me being a father, raising two boys of my own, he didn't do that. He didn't raise that boy right. And now what you're seeing in the Nolan Wells case is the mama get up there getting tripped up, caught up in lies. You know what I'm saying? They using her to make money. That's probably why she care about it now anyway. So it's just a big mess, and I can't take it seriously. So until I have evidence, official evidence, and not somebody, not some random chick that put a clip in Audacity and enhanced it. I want proof. I need something concrete before I make a decision.
Right.
If it's proven something insidious and nefarious happened, I'd be the first one to say, yeah, that is what it is. But it's no discernment. It's just reaction to emotionalism. And that's what's killing black folks. You know what I'm saying? Some of us, because I don't want to say it's all of us, but it's too much, it's a very little subsect of us that's on that bullshit and it's not helping us.
No, I like the progression, man, but we don't. That's why I like. I like hearing progression. I like hearing and seeing
Mm-hmm.
progression. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'm gonna jump a little topic real quick. How do you feel about this WNBA thing that's going on?
Man, WNBA is a joke.
You
I
seen
wrote an
it?
essay a
You
few
seen
months
the
ago.
men right trying to join, right?
Yeah, that's disgusting. Well, here's the problem with the WNBA. Remember a few months ago when a lot of, and I don't watch sports at all, but I pay attention to the business part of it
I
when
don't
it
watch
comes
women
up.
basketball. Though.
Yeah,
No offense.
when they were talking about they want more money. It's like you don't make the money. You are subsidized by the NBA. You can't ask for money when you don't generate it in for you to earn it. And it's like a lot of the what I'm saying, it's like they overestimating themselves. Man, you and the other three people that watch the WNBA, you don't have it like that. Now you're not gonna be on private jets because you don't make the money to facilitate that. And the thing is, I've always been against the I'm not against transgender. Do what you want to do. But
Right.
now, if you're a man, you shouldn't be playing in women's sports. That's unfair to women. That's unsafe and disrespectful to women. You know what I'm saying? And I think they have used feminism to corrupt black women, to corrupt women in general. Instead of pushing femininity, they push feminism, and they not the same thing. So now what you got an activist league, you got this kind of mess going on, and it's a joke. It's a joke. So I don't, it's just like they're trying to get everybody to switch over to this new way of thinking. It's a war against masculinity. Um, it's already a hard thing to find anyway for many man, and it's just if you masculine, you're toxic. That's the thing. That's the popular thing. So I'm not surprised. I just don't ascribe to it. I didn't raise my sons like that. I ran a mentoring program for at-risk young black men at a alternative school. I didn't teach that to them. So the NBA, WNBA is just. I mean, I don't know. It's just pathetic, and they're using that as a vehicle to push the leftist agenda. They're using it to push all these things upon our people that, if you want to believe it, fine, but are healthy. I don't think that's helping. But
I
hey, that's what
I
they
need you
want to do.
I need your opinion on this because
It's wrong. It's disgusting.
but this a Trump guy, Royce White. He's a Trump guy. He's sitting here in a wig with the Trump. He's sitting here with Alex Jones. I'm gonna show this to you. Hold on.
Okay.
I was watching this earlier. I was like, I don't know how you feel about this
All
because
right.
I think he's running for senator soon. I think.
Texas. Yeah, I think I met with his staff a couple years ago in Austin.
Lady's getting
Uh,
ready, the band's playing, the band's playing, and there aren't enough lifeboats for everybody. So I thought to myself, if America's headed, down the why not experience what it's like to be a woman? I mean, why would I go my entire life in a man's body to be a woman trapped in a man's body? The torture, the anguish of it. I can't even describe it to you. It's been a revelation. It's like, you can do this, dude. You can do this. You can become the best WNBA basketball player the world has ever seen. You can go to the WNBA and elevate the entire game. You can draw more eyes. You think Caitlin Clark's drawing eyeballs to the women's game? Wait till me and Enos Cantor get there. Wait until the LeBron Jameses of the world show up. Wait until your young high school athletes decide, you know what? Why would I want to go hang around with a bunch of other sweaty men in a hyper competitive setting? Just go on over here to the WNBA and experience being a woman, because we all should get the opportunity to experience being the other sex, because it's just a construct anyway. Just a construct. There's nothing to it. There's no difference, but there's no real difference. Come on. Come on. There's no real difference between men and women. And we all know that. If you dig deep, if you search your heart, you know. I mean, let me look at you straight on here. If you search your heart, go home tonight, take some time, you look in the mirror, and you search. You search. Do some deep diving. We all know there's no real difference between. We know that. We all know. It's a farce. It's a farce. It's been perpetuated by all of these neo-colonial racists, these neo-colonial racist white men. It's a farce. All you need is a synthetic wig. And yeah, this is a wig, but it's my hair because I paid for it. It's a wig, but it's mine because I paid for it. Okay? And if you don't give me my props, if you don't tell me that I'm slaying tonight, if you don't say yes, queen, then you're transphobic. And you really need to take a look in the mirror and figure out why you have so much hate. In fact, as a black man, I never experienced as much hate as I've experienced in what is it? 100 or so hours of being transgender. I've been transgender for, about 5 days. I have never experienced so much hate. So much hate. Trans on trans hate. I got a bunch of transgenders in my inbox threatening to kill me. I had a transgender say, I'm going to find you and I'm going to pistol whip the piss out of you. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, this must be a big transgender. She thinks she's going to roll up on me and just pistol whip me with no problems. Wow. I want to see this transgender. We need you to come to the tryouts. You got to come to the WNBA tryouts too. If you're big enough to pull that off, you probably should be playing some WNBA basketball. We need you.
He's trolling, right, George?
Oh hell yes! Anybody that thinks they're serious
Okay.
is
Okay.
retarded. But
Okay. So
that's
I was saying, like, the first thing.
having met with him before and kind of knowing his reputation,
Okay.
I don't I expect that of him. But it's satirical, that's satire. But you know what? You got people so stupid they gonna question if he was serious.
But
They don't
but,
understand
but
he was being
there's some
satirical.
truth, not his, like, not the joking truth, but what he's
Mhm.
trying to prove
Saying
is true is right.
exactly. And
Okay.
people, I think black people have had a long term problem of accepting truth through satire.
Okay. I don't have a
And a
problem.
lot of,
I
there are
was just
some people
making
that actually
sure.
don't think, yeah.
Just
Yeah,
get this
he's
clear.
trolling. Yeah, he's
The
trolling.
troll. And
Yeah,
okay, I'm okay with that. And I agree with the troll. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with it.
but he's telling the truth.
He's telling the truth.
Yeah, he's
Absolutely.
telling the absolute truth. That's how it is. That's the perception. That's how those people think. And I don't want to say those people to be any kind of way adversarial, but I'm just saying. I say those people in the fact that they don't represent me and not who I mess with. But I like what he did.
Yeah.
He didn't make a joke of it, but he brought put a spotlight on the issue. He just did it in a way that was creative. And
Yeah.
it's, when I met with the staff a few years ago, that's kind of how they are, and I think that's a good thing because
So does
maybe
that
it'll make
help
people
him
think.
in his being a senator? Does that help him?
I think so because I think you have people that are sick of that, and if you can put something, if you can put your message, he's doing what a lot of podcasters need to do: take the
Okay.
truth, take their truth, and put it in a form that's going to resonate and get attention.
Okay.
He just did it in an unconventional way, so everybody
He
can't
did it
take
in a way
everything.
it might get you get off YouTube. I might have to edit
Well,
it.
yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna get. I mean, his supporters kind of know how he is, and I think I got a saw when this post probably a couple weeks ago. He does stuff along those lines because we all can't say our truth and all that the same way. I think we begin to thinking it's got to be a cookie cutter way. No, he did it his way. He was right in what he said. If you think he was being serious, you don't need to vote because something wrong with you if you that stupid. But yeah, he did his thing.
Yeah. He did. Okay. I was like, I'm cool. I'm cool with that message.
Hmm.
I agree with everything he doing.
Yeah,
I was just making sure is what they was doing. That's all I
yeah.
wanted because I seen
Oh
the
yeah.
press conference. I was like, okay, this is what we doing because I seen he's a senator. I like when I seen that he's running for senator. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
they
he's been a long time senator. Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
he's been around a good while. He's a black conservative, and he just speak. Well, I ain't gonna say necessarily he's conservative. I'm saying He's the type that's gonna speak his truth, and we have to be open to listen to more black people with divergent views, whether we like them or not. Is the point is not to for all of us to agree because we're not all supposed to agree. We're not all gonna be liberal. We're not gonna all vote Democrat because that's dumb as hell. We're gonna vote differently. We're gonna think differently because our skin doesn't mean anything other than a certain amount of cohesion, but we all have different experiences, especially nowadays. So we're not gonna all think alike. And even if he was on that pro transgender and NBA stuff, that's his right. So he just articulated in a way that caught attention, that was creative, and that's what that was.
I'm for it. I'm all for
Right. Right.
it. All right. We got anything else? We good? We good? You want to
Yeah,
promote
I
yourself?
think I think we good right
I
now.
think we held it down, man. I think we
Yeah,
held
we
it
had
down.
it
I
down.
want
We
to have
good.
you again if you want to come through again. I want to do the interracial thing I told you about. Give me some more.
Yeah, I got
Give me
some
some more
thoughts on
time.
that.
Give me
Yeah,
some
yeah,
more
you,
time.
yeah.
And it's not just black and white.
No, no. I mean,
It's
over the
white and
past,
Asian. It's
right, black and Hispanic. That's
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
big thing because in the past, in my previous, I've dated Hispanic women. It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different mindset. So that's been, that's wrong behind me. I mean, but yeah. I mean, and the
I'm
thing
not
is.
Dr. Umar. He's just a female.
Hell with Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar is an utter joke. Yeah, I don't take anything that clown says seriously. He's a panderer because he can't get women any other way. So he has to do this fake bullshit, talk about snow bunnies and all this stuff because he know women to support him and donate money. So he's a panderer.
And
He's
he
a
and
joke
this
and a
run is short, and
fraud.
this run is coming to an end.
Yeah, his run been in the end. He's
Yeah,
a joke.
yeah, he's coming to an end.
People like that, man. If you want to follow Dr. Umar, you can follow him straight to hell, but I'm not going with you.
He done messed up some minds for the last
Yeah,
3 or 4 years.
especially our women.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But it is what it is.
but all right, man. We good. We out of here. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes,
Make sure you
sir.
send me Make sure you send me a banner so I can add it to my intro and stuff. You send me a banner.
I got you. Yeah, I sent
Yeah.
you one earlier.
All right, because you got books and stuff. So send me some books too. Send me everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote a book called The Meta Papers. It's not about politics. It's a philosophical memoir. It's on Apple Books, Barnes and Noble. I
Mhm.
contribute to American Thinker, which is a long running conservative editorial venue. I've got about 20 articles up there. What else? I've got my nonprofit Meta Association I'm working on. I've been doing that for 8 years. We deal with black male mental health, fighting recidivism, promoting fatherhood. We've done food drives over the years. I'm a public speaker. I've also run 2 political campaigns. City president with Turning Point, starting up the chapter here. So I got a lot of stuff going. But
You do.
if you go follow me on Facebook under George P. Brooks, you'll kind of keep you abreast of what's going on.
All right, yeah, I'm tuned in now. I'm more tuned in. I'm trying to get my Facebook right. I'm trying to like not like as far as paying attention to Facebook. I
Right.
got it, but I'm more of a Twitter, Instagrammer type guy. But I gotta.
Right.
I'm trying to turn my focus more to Facebook. I'm working on it, and I
Right.
got you locked in. But
Yeah.
thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. We got some more things to do later. I'll let you know on the back end. But
Yes,
like I
sir.
said, make everybody like and subscribe to George and everything he does. Bad Guys Pod. Make sure you like and subscribe and check out everybody in the outro and the intro. Bad Guys out.